All right, so today we're looking into a pretty cool opportunity
Yeah.
for our listener, a potential fast track to living and working in the USA
Mm,
as a nurse
right.
with, higher pay and all that good stuff, a clear path to permanent residency.
Absolutely.
Specifically, we're taking a deep dive into the EB-2 visa program
Okay.
and how it can benefit Indian nurses wanting to work in the U.S.
That's right.
The EB-2 visa.
The employment-based second preference visa
Oh, employment-based second preference.
is designed for professionals with advanced degrees or exceptional abilities.
Okay.
Um, and it's becoming a popular route for Indian nurses because it offers some significant advantages
I bet.
over other visa categories.
So we're talking faster green card processing,
Yes.
potentially higher salaries, better benefits,
Uh-huh.
and increased job security.
Yes.
Not to mention the exciting career growth opportunities that
Uh-huh.
come with working in the U.S. healthcare system.
Absolutely.
But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
let's take a step back. What makes the U.S. such a desirable destination
Yeah.
for Indian nurses in the first place?
Well, one major factor is the huge nursing shortage in the U.S.
Right.
This shortage creates a high demand for qualified nurses from overseas,
Okay.
which means hospitals are actively recruiting
Mm-hmm.
and offering competitive salaries to attract talent.
Right.
For Indian nurses specifically,
Yeah.
the U.S. offers not just professional opportunities,
Okay.
but also the chance to connect with existing Indian communities and cultural organizations,
Uh-huh.
making the transition smoother.
So it's not just about the job. It's
Uh-huh.
about finding a place where you can feel at home, too.
Exactly.
And of course, there's the earning potential.
Yes, the allure of potentially higher earning potential.
Right.
Yeah.
I see here in the source that salaries can vary
They do?
depending on location and specialization.
Uh-huh.
It mentions states like California, New York, and Texas as having some of the highest salaries for nurses.
That's because those states have large populations and a high cost of living, which drives up demand and consequently salaries.
Makes sense.
And as you mentioned, specialization also plays a huge role.
Yeah.
Nurses with expertise in areas like critical care, anesthesia, and surgery
Mm-hmm.
are particularly sought after.
It's like any profession, really.
Yes.
The more specialized your skills,
Exactly.
the more valuable you become.
Precisely. And that's where the EB-2 visa really shines.
Okay.
It demonstrates a higher level of expertise and experience,
Uh-huh.
which makes Indian nurses even more attractive to U.S. employers.
So it's like a stamp of approval
Yes.
that says, hey, this nurse is the real deal.
Exactly. You can give them a leg up
Right.
in the competitive job market.
Okay, so we've established that the U.S. is a great place for Indian nurses to advance their careers.
Yes.
And the EB-2 visa seems like the golden ticket.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine the process of getting this visa is pretty complex.
You're right. It is a multi-step process.
Okay.
First and foremost, you need the right qualifications. A Bachelor of Science in Nursing or a Master of Science in Nursing from a recognized institution is essential.
So it's not just about having the degree. It's about having the practical skills to back it up.
Absolutely.
All right.
Then comes the crucial step of securing a job offer from a U.S. employer
Yeah.
who is willing to sponsor your visa.
Right.
This is where things get interesting
I bet.
because the employer becomes your advocate in the process.
So they're not just offering you a job.
No,
They're actively helping you navigate the immigration system.
they are.
That's a pretty big commitment.
It is. They need to file a PRM labor certification,
Okay.
which essentially demonstrates to the government that there aren't any qualified American workers
Right.
available for the position,
Got it.
and that hiring you won't negatively impact the U.S. workforce.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They need to prove they've exhausted all other options before bringing in someone from overseas.
Exactly. It's a crucial part of the process.
Okay.
And it can sometimes be the most challenging step.
So what happens after the PRM labor certification is approved?
Then the employer files the I-140 petition,
Okay.
which is a formal request to classify you as an immigrant worker.
Right.
This is where they present your qualifications,
Yeah.
experience, and the details of the job offer
Right.
to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services,
Okay.
or USCIS for short.
So the I-140 is like the formal application package
Yes.
that puts all your cards on the table.
Right. It's a comprehensive document
Mm-hmm.
that outlines why you're the ideal candidate for this position
Okay.
and why you deserve to be granted an EB-2 visa.
It sounds pretty intense.
It can be.
It's no wonder that our source material suggests getting help from a specialized agency,
Yes.
like the one they mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
Galaxy Vision oversees Hyderabad.
It can be overwhelming,
Yeah.
especially if you're not familiar with the U.S. immigration system.
Right.
Having someone guide you through the complexities
Hmm.
can definitely make things smoother.
So we've covered the qualifications, the job offer, the PRMM, and the I-140 petition.
We have.
What happens next?
Well,
Does this mean you're automatically in...
not quite.
Oh.
The next step involves a lot of waiting and hoping for the best.
Uh-oh.
The USCIS will review your application
Mm-hmm.
and make a decision based on the information provided.
Okay.
This is where things can get a bit unpredictable.
So there's still that element of uncertainty
Unfortunately, yes.
hanging over your head.
The processing times can vary,
Right.
and there's always the possibility of delays or requests for additional documentation.
I imagine that waiting game can be nerve-wracking.
It can be,
Yeah.
but once the I-140 is approved,
Yeah.
it's a huge step forward.
Okay.
It means you're one step closer to that coveted EB-2 visa.
All right.
Yeah.
So once that I-140 is approved,
Yeah.
you're basically in the home stretch, right?
Well, almost.
Okay.
There's still a few more hurdles to clear.
Okay, like...
The next step is either adjusting your status within the U.S. if you're already here on a different visa,
Okay.
or applying for an immigrant visa at a U.S. consulate in your home country.
Right.
This involves more paperwork, background checks,
Uh-huh.
and an interview at the consulate.
Okay, so even after the I-140 approval,
Yes,
there's still a fair bit of waiting and jumping through hoops.
there is.
But let's fast forward a bit.
Okay.
Let's say you've successfully navigated all the steps,
All right.
and you finally landed in the U.S. on your EB-2 visa.
Yes.
What happens next?
Well,
What does life look like for an Indian nurse starting their new journey in America?
that's where the real adventure begins.
Okay.
The source emphasizes that one of the biggest advantages of the EB-2 visa
Uh-huh.
is that it comes with a dual intent.
Dual intent.
This means you're allowed to enter the U.S. with the intention of eventually becoming a permanent resident.
So unlike some other visas that are strictly temporary,
Exactly.
the EB-2 visa sets you up for a more permanent future in the U.S.
That's right.
That takes a lot of pressure off, I imagine.
Absolutely. And because you're entering with the intention of staying long-term,
Yeah.
you're eligible to apply for a green card much sooner
Okay.
than those on other visa categories.
Okay, so faster green card processing is definitely a huge perk.
Yeah.
But what about the actual day-to-day experience
Yeah.
of living and working in the U.S.?
Right.
The source mentions some general things about living costs and expenses.
It does.
Are there any specific insights that might be helpful for Indian nurses?
Well, it's important to remember that the U.S. is a vast country
Right.
with a wide range of living costs.
Yeah.
Big cities like New York or San Francisco are notoriously expensive,
Yeah, I've heard.
while smaller towns and rural areas tend to be more affordable.
So doing your research on the cost of living in your target city is crucial.
Absolutely. And it's not just about rent or mortgage payments.
Right.
Things like transportation, groceries, utilities, and healthcare can also vary significantly from place to place.
It sounds like budgeting and financial planning are essential when making this kind of move.
Definitely. But beyond the financial aspects,
Yeah.
there's also the cultural adjustment to consider.
Of course.
While the U.S. has a large and vibrant Indian community,
Uh-huh.
there are bound to be cultural differences that take some getting used to.
I imagine things like language, food, social customs,
Yes.
and even the way healthcare is practiced can be quite different.
You're right. It's important to be open-minded and adaptable,
Mhm.
and to seek out support from other Indian nurses or cultural organizations
Right.
who can help with the transition.
So it's not just about landing the job and getting the visa.
No,
It's about building a new life in a new country.
it is.
That's a pretty big undertaking.
It is. But the source also highlights the incredible rewards that come with this journey.
Okay, let's talk about those rewards.
All right.
What are some of the things that make this whole process worth it for Indian nurses?
Well, aside from the faster green card processing and higher earning potential we've already discussed,
Right.
there's the incredible opportunity for career growth and specialization.
Right. The source mentioned some exciting career paths like becoming a nurse practitioner,
Yeah.
specializing in critical care,
Yeah.
or even pursuing advanced roles in fields like oncology or cardiac nursing.
Exactly. The U.S. healthcare system is incredibly diverse
Yeah.
and offers a wide range of opportunities for nurses to advance their skills and knowledge.
So it's not just about finding a job, it's about finding a career that truly fulfills you.
Precisely. And the EB-2 visa, with its focus on advanced degrees and exceptional abilities,
Right.
really opens doors to those higher-level positions.
It's like having a key that unlocks a whole world of possibilities.
And let's not forget about the less tangible rewards,
Oh, okay.
like the sense of accomplishment or personal growth that comes with taking on such a challenging journey.
Right. It's about pushing yourself outside your comfort zone,
Yes.
embracing new experiences, and building a life that you might not have thought possible.
And for many Indian nurses, it's also about creating a better future for their families,
Uh-huh.
providing them with opportunities they might not have had back home.
That's a powerful motivator.
It is.
It's about creating a legacy that extends beyond yourself. But let's be realistic for a moment.
Okay.
This whole process sounds pretty intense.
Yeah.
Are there any potential challenges or downsides that Indian nurses should be aware of?
Of course, it's important to go into this with your eyes wide open.
Right.
One challenge is the PRM labor certification process we talked about earlier. It can be time-consuming and complex.
Right.
And there's always the risk of delays or even denials.
So it's not a guaranteed slam dunk?
No.
There are hurdles along the way?
Exactly. And even after you arrive in the U.S., there could be challenges.
Like what?
With cultural adjustment, finding affordable housing,
Okay.
and navigating the healthcare system.
It's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Right.
There are real-world obstacles to overcome.
Right. But with careful planning, research, and a bit of resilience, these challenges can be managed. And the rewards, as we've discussed, can be truly life-changing.
Okay, so we've talked about the advantages, the process, the lifestyle, the career opportunities,
Yeah.
and even some of the potential challenges.
Yes.
But there's one thing I'm still curious about.
Okay.
The source mentions that Galaxy Vision oversees Hyderabad, specializes in helping Indian nurses with this process.
Yes.
What exactly do these kinds of agencies do?
Well, they act as guides and facilitators,
Okay.
helping nurses navigate the complexities of the EB-2 visa program.
Right.
They can assist with everything from gathering the necessary documentation to preparing for interviews and even connecting nurses with potential employers.
So they're like a one-stop shop for all things EB-2.
In a way, yes.
Okay.
They can provide valuable support and expertise,
Yeah,
especially for nurses who are new to the U.S. immigration system.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like having a trusted advisor who can answer your questions
Right.
and help you make informed decisions.
Exactly. And for many nurses, that peace of mind is priceless.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about the nursing shortage in the U.S., the allure of higher earning potential, the step-by-step process of getting an EB-2 visa,
Yes.
the lifestyle adjustments, the exciting career paths, the potential challenges, and even the role of specialized agencies like Galaxy Vision oversees Hyderabad.
That's right.
But before we wrap things up, I'd like to shift gears a bit.
Intriguing. Where are we headed?
Well, the source has focused specifically on Indian nurses.
Yes.
But it's made me wonder,
Yeah.
are there other professions that could benefit from the EB-2 visa program?
That's a great question.
I mean, if it's such a great pathway for nurses,
Right.
surely it could be a game changer for other skilled professionals as well, right?
You're absolutely right. While our focus has been on nurses,
Okay.
the EB-2 visa isn't limited to any specific profession.
Oh,
It's open to anyone who meets the eligibility criteria, which, as we've discussed, includes having an advanced degree or exceptional ability in their field.
so doctors, engineers, scientists, researchers, teachers, IT professionals, the list goes on and on.
Precisely. And just like with nurses, the U.S. has a demand for skilled professionals in many other sectors. The EB-2 visa could be a valuable pathway for individuals from all over the world
Yeah.
who are looking to contribute their talents
Yeah.
to the U.S. workforce.
So while our deep dive today has been specifically about Indian nurses,
Yes.
the broader implications of this conversation are much wider.
Absolutely. It speaks to the global nature of talent and opportunity and the ways in which the EB-2 visa program can connect skilled individuals with fulfilling careers in the U.S.
It's exciting to think about all the possibilities,
It is?
not just for Indian nurses, but for people from all walks of life who are seeking a chance to make their mark on the world.
It's a reminder that talent knows no boundaries
Yeah.
and that opportunities exist for those who are willing to pursue them.
Well said. Now, before we get too carried away with all the potential and possibilities, I think it's important to emphasize that our deep dive today has been based on the specific information provided in the source material.
Absolutely. We've done our best to extract the key takeaways and present them in a way that's both informative and engaging.
But as with any major life decision,
Yeah.
it's crucial to do your own thorough research,
Yes.
and seek out professional guidance if needed.
There are countless resources available online, and consulting with an immigration lawyer or a specialized agency like the one mentioned in the source can provide personalized advice and support.
Knowledge is power.
It is.
And the more informed you are, the better equipped you'll be to make the right decisions for your future.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll do a deep dive into the EB-2 visa program for a completely different profession.
Now that's an idea. The possibilities are truly endless.
But for now, let's leave our listener with a final thought.
Okay, what's the takeaway message? What do we want our listener to remember from this deep dive?
If you're an Indian nurse with a dream of working and living in the U.S., the EB-2 visa program could be your ticket to a brighter future.
It's a chance to earn more, advance your career,
Yes.
and contribute your skills to a healthcare system that desperately needs your expertise.
And while the journey might seem daunting at times,
Yeah.
the rewards can be truly life-changing.
Imagine yourself there, living the American dream, making a difference in people's lives and building a fulfilling career.
It's all within reach.
Wow.
And the EB-2 visa program could be the bridge that gets you there.
It's inspiring to think about the ripple effects this kind of opportunity can create,
It is.
not just for individual nurses, but for their families and communities back home.
Exactly. It's a story of global interconnectedness, of how talent and ambition can transcend borders and create a more vibrant and diverse world.
And it all starts with a single step.
Right.
With the courage to dream big and pursue those dreams with passion and determination.
So to all the aspiring nurses out there listening, we encourage you to explore the possibilities, do your research, and see if the EB-2 visa program might be the right path for you.
It's a journey that might seem daunting at first,
Yes.
but the rewards can be truly life-changing.
And remember, knowledge is your greatest asset.
Right.
The more you learn about the process, the more confident and empowered you'll feel.
We hope this deep dive has given you a valuable starting point,
Yes.
a glimpse into the world of opportunities that awaits.
And if you decide to take the leap, we wish you all the best on your journey to the USA.
Go out there, make your mark, and show the world what you're capable of achieving.
We're rooting for you every step of the way.
Yeah, it really is amazing to think about how one little decision can lead to so many positive outcomes.
It really is a testament to the power of human ambition.
Yeah.
And the desire for a better life.
And it's a reminder that we're all connected
Yeah.
in ways we might not even realize.
Absolutely. The decisions we make, the paths we choose.
Right.
It could have ripple effects
Yeah.
that extend far beyond ourselves.
So to our listener who's considering this journey, this incredible journey, we say this.
Embrace the unknown.
Yes.
Be bold in your aspirations and never stop learning.
The world is full of opportunities.
It is.
And the EB-2 visa program could be your key to unlocking a future filled with purpose and possibility.
We hope this deep dive has been helpful and inspiring.
Yeah, we really do.
And we wish you all the best on your journey, wherever it may lead.
Absolutely. That's it for our deep dive into the EB-2 visa program for Indian nurses.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep dreaming.
And keep diving deep.